It's 1 a.m. The apartment is quiet. The hallway is dark. Denita Jackson is not feeling well. She leaves work early, comes home, and something immediately feels wrong. A door, her roommate's door, is locked. She doesn't knock. She doesn't call out. She reaches into her hair, pulls out a clip, and picks the lock herself. The door swings open, and there he is, her boyfriend, Kevaughn Goldson, a 23-year-old sprinter, a young man who ran the 400 meters faster than most people could blink, already lying on her roommate's bed, fully clothed, with a bottle of cologne sitting right between them. The same cologne they had already fought about. Now let me ask you something. You come home sick in the middle of the night, and you find your partner in your roommate's room. What do? Because what Denita Jackson did next didn't just end one life. It ended 2 careers, 1 university's peace, and a family's future. Thousands of miles away in Jamaica. Stay with us.
The Lincoln University athlete accused of fatally stabbing another athlete appeared in court today for an arraignment. Denita Jackson is charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action in connection to Kevaughn Goldson's death. Jackson allegedly stabbed Goldson twice on Monday after a struggle broke out when she caught him in bed with another woman. Goldson died from his injuries in the hospital. A bond review hearing is set for Monday.
But before we go any further, where are you watching from? Drop your city, your state, your country, right there in the comments. We love knowing who's in the Homicide Exposed family. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now. You do not want to miss what comes next. To understand what happened inside that apartment, you first need to understand who these 2 people were. Let's start with Kevaughn Goldson. Kevaughn was 23 years old, born and raised in Jamaica. Well, he made his way to the United States with one goal: to compete, to graduate, and to build a life bigger than the one he left behind. He landed at Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri, one of America's most respected historically Black colleges and universities. On the track, Kevaughn was the real deal. He ran the 400 meters and the 4x400 relay for the Blue Tigers. Anyone who has ever watched a 400-meter race knows that event does not forgive weakness. It demands everything from you: speed, endurance, mental toughness. Kevaughn had all of it. He was 6 feet tall, 160 pounds, a young man in his senior year, just months away from graduation. Now meet Denita Jackson. Denita was 27, originally from Berbice, Guyana, a small, tight-knit region on the northeastern coast of South America. Like Kevaughn, she had traveled far from home to chase something greater. She was also a senior sprinter on the very same Lincoln University track team. Same coach, same practices, same meets, same dreams. That is how they found each other. 2 Caribbean athletes far from home, running side by side every single day. On paper, it sounds like the beginning of something beautiful. 2 people who understood each other's grind, each other's sacrifice, each other's hunger. But inside Lincoln University's tight-knit walls, where everyone knows everyone, closeness can quickly become suffocating. And for Kevaughn and Denita, it did. On the surface, Kevaughn and Denita look like a power couple. 2 elite athletes, same university, same team. Both far from home, both fighting for something better. From the outside, it made perfect sense that they found each other. But court documents tell a very different story. According to official records, this relationship had a documented history of domestic violence. This was not a couple having the occasional argument. This was a relationship with a pattern, a cycle of conflict that had already crossed lines that should never be crossed. Now add to that everything else they were carrying. Kevaughn was 23, Denita was 27. That 4-year age gap may seem small, but in a relationship already under pressure, it matters. Denita was older, and by all accounts, deeply invested in this relationship. Kevaughn was younger, in his final year of college, with his whole life still ahead of him. They were also both far from home. No family nearby, no safety net, just each other, their teammates, and the pressure of performing at a high level every single week. That kind of isolation does something to people. It makes small problems feel enormous. It makes jealousy feel justified. And then there was the cologne, A simple bottle of cologne had already caused a serious argument between them before that night. It sounds almost too small to matter, but in a relationship built on distrust, and nothing is ever really about the cologne. It was about suspicion, control, the feeling that something was being hidden. That bottle had already started a fire once, and on the night of February 23rd, 2026, Denita Jackson would find it again. This time, the fire would not go out. February 23rd, 2026. Just after 1 a.m., Jefferson City, Missouri is dead quiet. Denita Jackson is not feeling well. She leaves work early and heads back to her off-campus apartment. She is tired. She is sick. And somewhere, deep down, she is unsettled. She reaches the apartment and steps inside. Then she notices it. Her roommate's bedroom door is locked. Now, a locked door in a shared apartment might mean nothing. But for Denita Jackson, on this particular night, it meant everything. She did not knock. She did not call out. She did not walk away. Instead, she reached into her hair, pulled out a hair clip, and began picking the lock. Click. The door opens. And there, on her roommate's bed, is Kevaughn Goldson, fully clothed, lying down, and sitting right there between them. That same bottle of cologne, the one they had already fought about, the one that had already caused damage between them. For Denita Jackson, this was not a coincidence. This was proof. She did not stop to ask questions. She did not wait for an explanation. She jumped on him. Kevaughn reacted immediately. He kicked her, hard enough that she flew off the bed and hit the floor. But this was not over. Kevaughn moved fast. He came down off that bed and got on top of her. His hands found her throat. According to Jackson's account to police, he was choking her, pinning her to the floor with his full body weight. She could not get up. She could not push him off. So her hand began moving, searching, sliding across the floor beneath the bed. And then her fingers found something, a knife. Without hesitation, she drove it into his back. The room went still. Kevaughn Goldson, a man who ran the 400 meters at full speed, did not react. No cry, no jolt, nothing. It was as if he had not felt it at all. So she stabbed him again, this time in the chest. And just like that, it was over. Kevaughn stumbled. The fight was gone from him. The apartment that had been filled with rage just seconds ago was now completely, terrifyingly silent. Denita Jackson stood up. So she looked at what had just happened, and then she picked up her phone and dialed 911. Police arrived to find Kevaughn Goldson bleeding from wounds to his back and his chest. He was rushed to Capital Region Emergency Room. He was still alive. He was still conscious. Officers tried to speak with him, tried to get his account of what happened. He refused to talk. Shortly after, he was airlifted by helicopter to University Hospital in Columbia, Missouri, where surgeons were waiting. And he never made it out of that operating room. Kevaughn Goldson was gone. Now we want to hear from you. Was this self-defense or was it murder? Drop your verdict in the comments right now. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because we cover real cases just like this one every single week, right here on Homicide Exposed. When police arrived at that apartment, Kevaughn Goldson was still breathing. He was rushed to Capital Region Emergency Room in Jefferson City. When officers followed, they needed his account. They needed to hear, in his own words, what had happened inside that bedroom. But Kevaughn would not speak, conscious but silent. He refused to cooperate with authorities. Whether that was out of loyalty, fear, or something else entirely, we may never know. What we do know is that his injuries were far too severe for Capital Region to handle alone. He was loaded onto a helicopter and airlifted to University Hospital in Columbia, Missouri. He died on the operating table. The following day, police arrested Denita Jackson. She was charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action. She was booked into Cole County Jail and held without bond. But there was another layer to this case that most people missed. Because Denita Jackson is not an American citizen, immigration authorities stepped in. ICE placed an immigration hold on her, meaning even if bond had been granted, she was not going anywhere. At her arraignment, Jackson entered a not guilty plea, claiming the stabbing was self-defense. Meanwhile, Lincoln University released a statement expressing grief and offering counseling to affected students and staff. In a moment that struck many as both admirable and heartbreaking, the Blue Tigers track team still traveled to Indianapolis that weekend to compete. Life somehow had to go on, but for an entire community, nothing felt the same. Here is the part of this story that nobody's talking about. One, because this was not just about a bottle of cologne, and it was not just about one bad night. This tragedy had been building for a long time, and there were people and systems all around Kevaughn and Denita that could have stepped in, but nobody did. Let's zoom out for a moment. College campuses across America have a serious problem with intimate partner violence. Studies have shown that college athletes experience higher rates of relationship abuse than the general student population. And the pressure to perform, the fear of failure, and the weight of representing your school, it all adds up. And when two athletes are in a relationship together, that pressure doubles. Now place that relationship inside a tight-knit HBCU community where everyone knows everyone, where your teammate is also your partner, where you eat together, train together, and come home to the same circle of people every single day. There is almost no space to breathe, no room to walk away and cool down. And add to that the reality of being far from home. Both Kevaughn and Denita had left their countries, Jamaica and Guyana, to build something in America. That kind of distance from family creates a loneliness that most people never see from the outside. And when you are lonely, you hold on tighter. When you hold on tighter, small things like a missing bottle of cologne stop feeling small. Where were the coaches when the arguments became physical? Where were the teammates who surely saw the warning signs? Where were the university resources that could have reached this couple before it was too late? This was not just a crime of passion. It was a failure of every system around them. Before we close out this story, we need to talk about something important. Because if there is one thing cases like this teach us, it is that there are almost always warning signs before the worst happens. Repeated arguments, physical altercations, a pattern of jealousy and control. These are not normal parts of a healthy relationship. These are red flags. And when you see them in your own relationship or in someone else's, they cannot be ignored. Think about the roommate in this story, the teammates, the coaches. Someone somewhere knew this relationship was troubled, and yet nothing was done. If you are close to someone in a volatile relationship, say something. Tell a trusted adult. Contact the university. Make a call. That one conversation could be the difference between life and death. If you or someone you know is in a dangerous relationship, please reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. It is free, it is confidential, and it is available 24 hours a day. You do not have to wait until it is too late. You could save a life. 2 sprinters, 1 apartment, 1 night that changed everything. Kevaughn Goldson came to America to run, to build a life, to graduate, to make his family back in Jamaica proud. He never made it home. And Denita Jackson? She is sitting in a jail cell, waiting for a trial that will decide the rest of her life. But the questions remain. Was it really self-defense? What happens to Denita Jackson now? And what about Kevaughn's family? Still grieving thousands of miles away, still waiting for justice. This case is far from over. If this story moved you, hit that like button right now. Share this video with someone who needs to see it. And if you are not yet subscribed to Homicide Exposed, do it now and ring that notification bell so you never miss a case. Until next time, the truth always comes out.